Hi.
What's going on, San Antonio? What's going on, South Texas, and all of Bexar County here in Spurs land? It is February 1st, 2024 here in San Antonio. My name is Mike Jimenez, joined by Joe Garcia, and this is the Alamo City Sportscast. We have a big show today because we have a big guest. We're not going to see his pretty face, but we will hear the voice of Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5. He'll be on with us in about 10 or 15 minutes or so, talking all things Spurs. We have breaking news coming in today, so we're going to get into the Spurs game, the odds of Wembley making the All-Star team, talk about the Super Bowl as well. All-Star Weekend in the NBA has a really unique shootout going on. It might actually be more important, more viewed than the actual three-point shootout, because we have a guy going up against a girl in this one, so we have to talk about that. And then also big news coming out of Big D, or should I say the nation's capital, because it appears as though the Dallas Cowboys in the last 5 minutes have lost their defensive coordinator, Dan Quinn, going to the Washington Commanders. Joe Garcia, how you doing today, my man?
Doing good. That's a little bit disheartening, right? That you're going to lose Dan Quinn and to a team in your own conference.
In your own division.
In your own division, too.
One other thing we'll be talking about as well. Did Jeremy Sochan have the dunk of the year last night?
It's a very good candidate.
It is a very good candidate. But let's talk about the Cowboys right now, because you were mentioning that Adam Schefter has reported
breaking
within
news
the last 10 minutes that defensive coordinator Dan Quinn is gone. Now, Dan Quinn, a lot of Cowboy fans are kind of up in the air when it comes to this whole scenario. I'm on Twitter right now, and people are like, half of them are saying they don't mind it. The other half are like, damn, he's gone. Dan Quinn was a very good defensive coordinator. I mean,
he was.
The Cowboys, 3 straight years of 12-5 records, made the playoffs 3 years in a row, won the division a couple of times. The Cowboys were doing their job, and part of that was because of the defensive scheme of Dan Quinn.
People forget, too, that he did coach the Falcons.
He did, to the Super Bowl.
He took them to the Super Bowl. That's when they were leading 28-3, and they had that historic collapse. But as the Falcons head coach for 5 seasons, he had a record of 43-42.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a bad coach.
Yeah, it's not like he doesn't have any experience.
He's a very good defensive coordinator. The question becomes, is he a very good head coach? Like you said, he was 2 quarters away from winning a Super Bowl a handful of years ago, but lost to Brady in that 28-3 collapse. But going on to Dan Quinn and the Cowboys, and we have to ask this of Cowboy fans, how worried are you that the Cowboys are not going to have that continuity when it comes to defense? Because what did we see when it came to the Cowboys last year? Micah Parsons more than likely will be named runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year for the, 3rd year in a row.
Yeah.
You had one of their cornerbacks, Darren Bland, break the all-time NFL record for most pick sixes. Yet Stephon Gilmore brought in, did a very good job. He is now a free agent. Tank Lawrence is a very good player. He's a wrecking ball down low at defensive end. The Cowboys have some pieces. Now, Mozzie Smith was possibly a miss when it came to a first-round pick. He didn't do much this year for the Cowboys. So it was good enough to get the Cowboys going into the playoffs and get 12 wins. Dan Quinn put together a pretty good defense.
And put together good defense.
With not a lot of free agents, not a lot of trades, not a lot of splashes. They didn't get Von Miller couple of years ago. They didn't get the big names, but they got Stephon Gilmore, which I thought was a pretty big deal at the time. The problem that you saw with Dan Quinn is that he got exposed, exploited, if you will, because the linebackers were so small. He was going out there with linebackers who weighed 225.
I think my left leg weighs 225.
I think my third leg does. But beyond all that, he didn't make any adjustments in the playoff loss this year. No adjustments made at all. And it's one of those things where we were asking ourselves the question, why isn't he doing anything? Why isn't he changing the fact that his team is being run on repeatedly over and over and over again, getting gashed for 6, 7, 8 yards at every play? Didn't make any changes. So Dan Quinn is good enough to get you to the playoffs, maybe even good enough to get you to the second round.
He's good enough to get you to the Super Bowl.
As a head coach, he is.
Yes, a head coach.
So people are already trying to prognosticate over here saying, well, what if Bill Belichick becomes the defensive coordinator for the Cowboys? Why would he become the defensive coordinator? I mean, unless he's defensive coordinator and head coach, he's not going to be under Mike McCarthy. That's not how it works.
Belichick he wants to be the guy in control. He wants to be the general, man. He wants to lead the team.
Yeah.
He's not going to go and take a second fiddle role to what? Cowboys head coach? No, man. That ain't going to happen.
So according to Adam Schefter, again, if you want to show my screen here, this is the official update from Adam Schefter on X/Twitter. Says from DC to Dallas, the Commanders are hiring Cowboys defensive coordinator Dan Quinn as their head coach per league sources. Quinn and Commanders GM Adam Peters are the two men now charged with leading Washington in the future. He goes on to say, Adam Schefter, that one of the next questions will be whether Dan Quinn attempts to bring any other added Cowboy assistant coaches with him to Washington, such as defensive backs coach Al Harris or defensive line coach Aiden Durd. Both could be defensive coordinator candidates if Dallas grants permission for the coaches to leave under contract. That'd be a dick move if the Cowboys didn't do that.
I
mean, I know you're under contract and whatnot, but if you can get promoted from a defensive line coach or a DB coach to defensive coordinator, you have to let your guy go. You have to do that. And again, Dan Quinn is now going to the Washington Commanders, not only in conference, but in division as well. This is a big deal for Cowboy fans because Micah Parsons, he seemed to like working with Dan Quinn. The defensive line seemed to like working with Dan Quinn. Mike McCarthy was not intimidated by Dan Quinn. In fact, when Mike McCarthy's job was quote unquote in jeopardy after losing in the first round a couple of years ago, Dan Quinn stood up and said, I would be willing to leave if it makes you feel more comfortable. If you feel more comfortable, if I'm a presence that you do not want in the locker room, I will leave. And Mike McCarthy said, no, I still want you because I still need you. Dan Quinn calling the shots on the defense, Mike McCarthy calling the shots on the offense, led them to a division title, but they got nothing done in the playoffs. 1-out, getting bounced by the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Jones turning back the clock, looking like he was 25 years old all over again.
Yeah.
Scoring multiple touchdowns. Jordan Love going up and down the field, not afraid of the Cowboys defense. And it was weird because the Cowboys defense liked to get after you.
Yeah.
But what Jordan Love did and the Packers did was they went after Micah Parsons. They didn't dodge him. They're like, don't chase me. We're going to come running towards you. It's very, very interesting. Joe Gonzalez reaches out and says, quote, in our chat line at the very bottom there, sleeping with Bieniemy. That's the old Chris Berman take on Eric Bieniemy. Eric Bieniemy still the offensive coordinator for the Washington Commanders, saying a decent quarterback might make that team noise in the NFC East. Other comments coming in. David Otwater says, no, Mike, don't let these fools go. I know, man, but that is the thing, though. Who would want to coach for the Cowboys if they knew that they would pin you down to a contract and not let you advance in your career? That's the thing. Atwater wants them to keep Al Harris. That's the point, though. That is the point, man. It's just one of those things where whenever you have a coach leave, they tend to take people with them.
And this is exactly what Mario Cavazos was saying. He says, let's see how many of these defensive Cowboy free agents go to enjoy DQ, Dan Quinn. It says his replacement will be ex-Washington head coach Ron Rivera. They're changing roles. The funny thing here is we see that Micah Parsons has already gone on record saying if Dan Quinn leaves, he wants to follow him. So Micah Parsons' contract is coming up.
Yeah, but they will always franchise tag him at the very least to keep him to stay. So even if he loves Dan Quinn, and if he goes over, Dan Quinn's not going to be the defensive coordinator over there. He's going to be the head coach. He's going to hire somebody. But let's take a look at those players that the Cowboys have at free agent for this upcoming season that are on the defense side of the ball.
You got him up on screen?
I do.
All right, there we go.
Stephon Gilmore, Dorrance Armstrong, the defensive end, Jaron Kearse, the strong safety, Jordan Lewis, the cornerback, Dante Fowler, the defensive end. You have Jonathan Hankins, the defensive tackle, Neville Gallimore. So, I mean, a one or two big names, but nothing major when it comes to the Cowboys. Not at all. Not at all. But again, the big news today is that Dan Quinn is gone, according to Adam Schefter. Multiple sources telling ESPN's Adam Schefter that Dan Quinn will be the head coach. So it's interesting because the Washington Commanders didn't give Eric Bieniemy any love when it came to it. And people have been asking the question, why does Eric Bieniemy get passed over all the time? In fact, he wasn't even a finalist for this job. Eric Bieniemy is somebody who, under Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs, was the offensive coordinator over there. Now, Andy Reid might have called the plays, but somehow or another, they kind of worked together. And I think that Eric Bieniemy somehow or some way is just not liked in the NFL.
Yeah.
There's a respect factor that he does not get when it comes to things. But I find this to be very interesting. Cowboys, many, many questions to answer. But you know what? I'm not going to pay much mind to Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones tried doing that crap last week where he's like, or a couple of days ago at the Senior Bowl, we're all in. I wouldn't mind having Bill Belichick over here. I would love to have him over here. We're good friends. Belichick could be over here if Mike McCarthy fails. All of that stuff. And you know what? He talked nothing about the extension of Michael Parsons. Talked nothing about the extension of CeeDee Lamb. The Cowboys have things that they need to do this offseason. And the biggest domino that needs to fall is what are they going to do with Dak Prescott? Dak Prescott, $59.4 million tag this year. Okay, that's the cap hit this year for him unless he renegotiates. But if you're going to renegotiate,
restructure the deal.
Yeah, what are you going to restructure it to? 50 million? 55?
You're still going to have to pay the dude, You
don't. And that
He's
is
under
thing.
Contract. You can negotiate a little bit.
They don't need to pay him, man. They can just cut bait and say, you know what? We're just gonna we're gonna have this as a development year, and we're gonna rebuild with Trey Lance or rebuild with somebody else.
I'm not opposed to that idea. Let's see what the dude's got, man.
Dak Prescott's been around for 9 years. He's 30 years old.
Won 2 playoff games.
We know who he is. He is the king of padding his stats at the end of games.
Yeah.
Junk stats the entire time.
Can't beat winning teams with winning records.
Garrett reaching out to us with greetings from the Netherlands. What's going on, my man?
Man, this guy, he always watches religiously, man. And I love it, man. Thank you.
It's good morning over here. I'm sure it's late in the afternoon over there, maybe early evening.
That's dedication, man.
That is.
You know what? I'm going to have to send him a shirt or something, dude.
That sounds good, man. Ace reaches out to us on our YouTube stream. Again, you can be part of the show by reaching out to us on YouTube. We're only on YouTube now. We're no longer on Facebook, no longer on Twitter. Let your friends know.
Yeah.
But Ace says it bothers me that Dak is so highly paid and can't come through on high pressure situations.
He doesn't have the clutch gene, man.
Dude, the Cowboys this year, you pop them in the face in the first quarter, they're dead.
If they fall behind, they're done.
That's exactly it. We need to get Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5 on. He'll be on the show with us in a couple of minutes or so. We'll see. Not going to have his pretty face, but some of the things that we're going to talk about. Did we see the dunk of the year last night in the Spurs loss to the Orlando Magic? Because
maybe
Jeremy Sochan, my God.
You're going to claim him now? Is he your boy?
Not my son yet. Not my son.
Come on,
Not
Mike.
My son yet.
Oh,
but the Spurs lost last night by 10. It was an interesting game. I mean, the Spurs got out to a hot start as always. Then they wet the bed in the second quarter, got down by 25 points, made a big run in the end of the third and going into the fourth quarter, got it to within one possession and end up losing the game last night, 108-98. You know what I found to be very interesting last night's game was a lot of Spurs fans say, you know what, we're going to be the next Oklahoma City Thunder, right? Because Oklahoma City built through the draft, started collecting all these draft capital picks.
Yeah.
And then they got Chet, and they got SGA in a trade.
Shy. Yeah.
They got Chet. They go off and get Josh Giddey in the draft and other players, J-Dub, all that stuff. And I look at it and I think to myself, you know what? I think the next logical step for the Spurs is not becoming Oklahoma City. You first have to be the Orlando Magic.
Hey, you saw the same tweet I did.
Oh, what was that?
With Don Harris and what he was saying about the Magic. As far as the talent
that was there.
They have.
Yeah, he went back and forth. He went back and forth with John Dyer yesterday from Spurs and Salsa. I think that they were lost in translation because they were talking about two different things. But when you look at the Orlando Magic has a very, very good squad. And I did see that tweet this morning from Don Harris.
He has a point, though. I mean, talent matters.
Don Harris says winning teams have top 7 players in the lineup, and right now the Spurs only have 1.
No lies detected.
Victor Wembanyama. But he goes, you take a look at Orlando, Paulo Banchero, overall #1 draft pick, rookie of the year last year, will be named an all-star tonight. Franz Wagner drafted in the top of the towards the top of the draft. You have Markelle Fultz, who resurrected his career, was a top overall pick. You have Jalen Suggs, who's also a top 5 pick. You look at these players, Mo Wagner, even Cole Anthony was mid-first round. They have a lot of talent that's there.
Yeah.
And the talent came early in the draft, whereas the Spurs, you look at the Spurs roster, I mean, they started yesterday as Champagnie, who was undrafted.
Yeah.
Sochan was number 9 in the draft. Devin Vassell was 11. Wemby was 1. Keldon Johnson is late first round, like 29. So it's kind of hard to say that the Spurs have the talent. The Spurs are trying to develop this talent, but the ceiling might not be there for some of these players. Spurs lost 108-98, outscored 64-42 in quarters 2 and 3 combined. Paolo Banchero went off for 25 points on 9 of 18 shooting. Franz Wagner had 20. For the good guys, your San Antonio Spurs, paced by, of course, Victor Wembanyama, 21 points yesterday. I was hoping that this would be the exclamation point to possibly get him into the All-Star game, but his last 3 games have been 20, 21, 21 points. He's just been doing what he averages.
Yeah.
And there was no exclamation point. He also had 8 rebounds, but the big game of the night last night was Jeremy Sochan for the Spurs. Sochan, 18 points on 8 of 13 shooting. A lot of up and unders, my man.
Yeah.
A lot of up and unders. I saw that. This is where I get excited about Sochan, because I did not want Sochan as the point guard. Okay. I did not want Sochan chunking up a lot of 3-pointers because he doesn't shoot threes very well last year. This year, he's upped it up to about 36%. So he's doing decent this year, actually pretty good this year. But Sochan is doing a lot more underneath the basket. He's getting a hook shot. He's developing an up and under. He is becoming a power forward. He's no longer being played as a point guard, no longer being played as a small forward. And I wonder where Jeremy would be if he was power forward the entire year. Where would he have been development-wise?
Yeah.
He has this up and under move. He has a little spin shot. He has a little reverse. It's very interesting.
I did like one of the comments here. I think it was by STP11.
Yeah.
And he put something here that was interesting. He goes, if you want draft talent, don't you need to a competent GM? Lucas Samanic, Primo, Joe Wieskamp, on and on and on.
Well, I mean, Primo was the big stretch, because I remember when he was drafted, everyone was like, who is this guy? This was a guy that was projected in the second round. Wieskamp was a second rounder, so I'm not really going to fault him for that. But Lucas Samanic was also projected to be a second rounder as well. But we're taking a look right now at the potential dunk of the year last night.
Jeez, dude.
Now, this is a slow-mo look at it on Twitter. It was an alley-oop from Devin Vassell in the first half of last night's game. And the slow-mo doesn't do it any justice as to how quickly Sochan got this and did a reverse alley-oop dunk. Don't get me wrong. Wemby has had a ton of dunks this year that have been highlight-worthy. But I would put this on the top of my list right now.
That's like a reverse
for
jam.
dunk of the year. That is
reverse alley-oop jam. Like, damn.
Let me see how I can follow. Here's the full speed version of it all.
That's amazing, dude.
Now let's see. Was he off the ground when he caught the ball?
He was off the ground when he caught the ball.
Let's take a look. Okay, so Trey Jones, outlet to Vassell. Yep, he was.
Off the ground, turns around,
dude, dunk of the year. Dunk of the year. We have a $5 super chat coming in right now from
the Drew Show.
Drew Show says, hey, all of you pop worshiping wannabe Spurs nerds. Bottom line, from 03 to 10 with Tim, Tony, and Manu, Pop should have repeated at least once. Now, I'm going to go back on something that I saw Drew say on Twitter yesterday. I'm gonna push back a little bit, because he insinuated that in order to become a dynasty, you need to win back-to-back championships, and I don't believe so. I think there is actually one caveat to it all.
Yeah,
if you can win 3 and 5,
true.
If you can win 3 and 5, I mean, come on, man. That's 3 in 5 years. How many teams have ever done that?
Yeah, we got another super chat here by Drew, and then we're going to go ahead and introduce our guest that we have on hold right now.
So Drew says he didn't. Duncan was prime. Tony became Finals MVP, and Ginobili won a gold medal. All in the Hall of Fame. Quit changing facts to fit our screwed reality. I don't know what we're talking about there, but appreciate the tip there, my man. But the whole thing about dynasty, the Spurs won in 03, 05, and 07. Right? There were no strike shortened seasons.
Yeah.
They were full-on seasons, and they were in the mix the seasons that they didn't make it. Okay? The Spurs were most definitely an era of 20 years. But that is a dynasty. If you win 3-5, I think that takes away from the whole you need to go back-to-back to make it happen. Yeah. But we have a special guest, Moneybags himself, the top hat, the French steak, my man, Jeff Garcia. What's going on, my man?
Hey, we're gonna bring Jeff. We gotta bring him on proper, man.
Oh, let's do it. I
think I got it. Let me go ahead and look for it, man. I gotta bring in his little intro.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Money bags in the house. Jeff Garcia from Ken's 5. Follow him on Twitter X at Jeff G Spurs Zone. What's going on, Jeff Garcia?
You know, y'all call me Moneybags, but yet did y'all sit in the third or second row recently at the game?
We're going to talk about that.
Had a private spread of food in a different section of the Frost Center.
Hey, Mike was eating a chef-prepared salmon.
I had never had.
That's what I'm saying.
I had never had salmon before my entire life. It was amazing.
And he went back for dessert. He had an ice cream sundae.
A little sundae.
It looked good. It looked really good. Really good.
Hey, I have highlights of the game, by the way, if you want to play that in the background. But Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5 joins us right now. Jeff, last night's game, we were just talking about that Sochan reverse dunk.
Yeah.
And Joe Gonzalez reached out to us on our YouTube streamline saying, MJ, go ahead and fill out that Sochan apology form. I will sign my first name, but not my last name yet. But let's talk about that dunk last night, the reverse alley-oop from Devin Vassell. Was that, in your opinion, your mind, the dunk of the year for the Spurs?
No. I still think one of Wemby's posters is much more brutal than that. I mean, it was nice. It was slick. It was cool. But when Wemby throws one down, man, I mean, it's like just power. Just like awe-inspiring, just looking at him just coming down and just crushing on players. I still got Wemby's dunks. Among one of the best this season. But I'm glad you brought up Sochan. And I'm listening to you guys talking about him getting snubbed and everything. I talked to some Magic media people, and, Paolo Banchero is on the sophomore roster. There's rumblings in Orlando that he may sit out of the sophomore squad, leaving a space open for Sochan to come in. And I think it should be Sochan if Paolo decides to bow out and wait for the All-Star game, which everybody thinks he's going to get nominated as an All-Star.
Well, and that's the thing. The fact that Dyson Daniels was being put up there, I was actually backing Sochan's candidacy for that because I believe, the Spurs had the number 9 pick in the draft. They got the 9th best player, right? Because Paolo Banchero, better player, J-Dub, arguably a better player. So I don't think the Spurs missed on that draft pick because we got the value that we needed for that number, right? So that being said, Jeremy Sochan, his game has changed in the last probably 4 weeks or so. Beyond, he's not playing point guard anymore. He is playing the way that I would have wanted him to have been playing from the very get-go. Not because the bucket are being made, but because he's doing things like up and unders. He's doing like little baby hooks from 5 feet out. He's doing stuff around the glass, around the little circle there. And that's where he belongs. And that's what was so frustrating for me watching Sochan try to develop a game outside of the paint, that it was just difficult for me to watch. But now you see him working his way inside, developing some post-up moves, developing an up and under, pump fakes and things like that. Suddenly I'm like, I can believe in that type of player right there.
Oh, yeah. But, you could still see those, growing pains that he's still going through. He had, 5 turnovers in the last game versus Orlando, and then one costly one late in the game. So, he had a double-double, 18 and 12. But then the night before, he has a 2 and 5 outing.
Right.
And then the day before that, against Minnesota, 13 and 4. Then before that, 31 and 14. So he seems to be trending in the right direction, though. I mean, just 3 out of 4 games we produced is pretty good. But no, you like it. Like he's definitely coming away from those frustrating months, days, weeks when he was at point guard playing out of position. I was there at practice. where he voiced his infamous frustration interview where he said, like, I'm tired of this bleeping stuff. So, yeah, look, you can only foresee how he's going to progress. There's still, the turnover issue. But again, it's not just him. It's the entire team. And Wemby, he had a major turnover late in the game versus Orlando. So, yeah, you like where he's projecting, though.
Talking to Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5. Follow him on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. You can also follow him on the Locked On Spurs podcast on YouTube. I listen on Spotify as well. Jeff, you provide that daily content when it comes to the Spurs, and there are a lot of Spurs fans out there who are going to be lighting candles tonight because the Western Conference All-Star reserves will be announced tonight on TNT. Wemby's not going to be named, right? But much like Sochan getting into the sophomore team, if Banchero gets named to the All-Star team, which he will be.
He will be, yeah.
Do you think that there's a possibility of being a replacement, not necessarily named a reserve, but a replacement, much like DeJounte Murray was a few years ago?
I think that's definitely out there. He's putting up the numbers. He's having this surge ahead of the All-Star break, so I think he should deserve the spot if somebody bows out, injury reserve, or just doesn't want to play. But no, I think he does earn, but it's just a stacked conference. The Sabonis, Fox, players ahead of him that are likely will get it. So, but look, all in all, even if he doesn't, the Spurs will be well represented. Wemby will bring the skills challenge. He's pretty sure to be doing a bunch of events out in Indianapolis. Then we're forgetting about Don Barlow. He is a G League All-Star. So he will be representing the Spurs out in Indianapolis as well. And I really think like Sochan, if Paolo says no, he's not in for the sophomore game, then it's got to be Sochan. The only caveat to that, if he urges Anthony Black, his teammate, to get in. That's the only thing I can think that might trip it up for Sochan.
So speaking of All-Star Weekend, which, by the way, gets going. When is the All-Star Weekend? That gets going the 17th, right?
Yeah.
The weekend of the 17th.
Yeah, a couple weeks.
One of the big storylines out of this is that there's going to be a 3-point shootout between Steph Curry and WNBA single season 3-point record holder Sabrina Ionescu.
Yeah.
I think personally that's going to be the most watched thing when it comes to the NBA All-Star Weekend. I think that's going to be making major headlines because Ionescu was basically saying, put me back to the NBA line, because again, the WNBA 3-point line is closer than the NBA. But you know how guys are, dude. And that's not all guys, but there are a lot of jerks out there who are going to be like, well, she's shooting from 19 feet. He's shooting from 22, right? And then if she goes out and wins this from the guys' line
perspective,
they're going to be like, well, the ball's smaller. There's always going to be an a-hole out there who's going to crap on a woman's performance.
Yeah. Well, let me read you the official way that this is going to go down. This is officially off of the NBA's Instagram, right?
Yeah.
So they said Steven versus Sabrina will follow standard starry 3-point contest rules. 4 ball racks with 4 game balls and 1 money ball. 5th rack will be a special all money ball rack. Steph and Sabrina can decide the spot for this rack. They're going to have 2 starry range shot values. Game balls worth 1, money balls worth 2, starry range worth 3 points. Steph will shoot from the NBA line with NBA basketballs. Sabrina will shoot from the WNBA line with WNBA basketballs.
That's the way it should be. Now, Ionescu won the 2023 All-Star Shootout on the WNBA side, making 25 out of 27.
Hey, girl's got skill, man.
Dude, she can knock him down.
I would be surprised if she wins.
Who you got? Who you got, Jeff? Who you got, Ionescu or Steph?
I'm going with Steph. I'm going to go with Steph. I think he gets the win.
Very, very cool. Talking to Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5. Let's go back in time, because All-Star Weekend has not been the same for me since like the 90s and early 2000s, right? Maybe that's us showing our
Saturday night is fun. Saturday night is fun. It's just the main event on Sunday that's kind of a snoozer.
What's a snoozer about it? What do you think?
It's predictable. It's too many, head lean into it. I know this year they're going back to the the traditional way, right? None of this 2 quarters and then we reset and then you do this and then first through all that. I think it got too complicated like that. You're not really seeing. It just feels like been there, done that. That's what it feels like. Now, been there, done that.
Now, have they named who's going to be in the slam dunk contest this year?
I don't think so.
Right, because
I think the kid from Philly, I think he's coming back. The one that won it last year, I forget, he was a G League guy. He came back for that one game. Remember, the Sixers signed him for one quick game, and then he played in the contest, and then he left.
So one of the players rumored to be in there is a guy named Jaime. No, seriously, I'm looking at some of the potential candidates there from the Miami Heat. I apologize. I dated somebody named Jamie in college, and when I see Jaime, that's the way I pronounce it. It's just weird. My bad. Slam dunk contest is Saturday, February 17th at 7 p.m. San Antonio time. I remember back in the day, my goodness, growing up watching Jordan in the dunk contest, watching Dominique Wilkins, and then even when they started bringing out the scrubs, and it was Kenny Skywalker, it was still entertaining. The Spud Webb, still entertaining. But somewhere along the line, it lost all the stars. You know what I think it is? It lost the star-studded type of event because they're afraid. They have fragile egos. They don't want to lose the dunk contest, and therefore they don't go. That's why you don't see big names out there. They're afraid of getting punked out there.
Oh, now if you're talking about Saturday night events, then yeah, for sure. I mean, now it's the 3-point shooting that's the fun event, as opposed to when it was just the dunk contest.
Yeah. Well, I just found this out too, Jeff, just a little while ago right now, official from the NBA. They're going to go ahead and announce the 2024 reserves tonight on TNT. They're going to announce them at 7 p.m. Eastern, which is about 6 hours.
They had announced. Yeah, they had put that out there like 2-3 days ago. So,
yeah.
I mean, there's no surprise about what they're going to do tonight. But, that's I think Spurs fans will be glued to see the outside chance that Wemby makes it.
Right.
And I don't think he will, just because of the people ahead of him.
Yeah, according to NBA.com, the likely players to be named as the reserves for the Western Conference include Steph Curry, Anthony Edwards, Kawhi Leonard, Domantas Sabonis, Anthony Davis, Devin Booker, and Paul George. It's pretty much universal that those are the names. Some are saying maybe even De'Aaron Fox. But then again, you have a big guy, Anthony Davis, who has an ankle injury, may not want to play. So that might open up a spot. But does that open up a spot for De'Aaron Fox? Or do they go and say, well, you know what? Let's go get another big guy.
Yeah.
But the other big guys out there that are in the mix could be Chet Holmgren, could be, another rookie as opposed to Victor Wembanyama. That would be interesting if they did that. But I like the article that you wrote the other day, Jeff, about Victor Wembanyama being the 4th highest or 4th ranked player when it came to jersey sales. How surprised are you about that?
Not surprised at all. Not at all. You figure with the French connection, obviously Spurs fans. I mean, you go to a Spurs game, it's just a sea of Wemby jerseys everywhere. And then you when you watch the road games on television or on there, you see Wemby jerseys. So not too surprised. Not surprising at all. I think the last time the Spurs were having jersey sales like this for an individual player and collectively as a team was Kawhi Leonard. I think that was the last time the Spurs were in the mix for top selling jerseys.
Even I have a Wemby jersey. Okay, I wore it the other day to the Spurs game. I have a Wemby jersey. The last jersey I'd ever purchased, or the last jersey I'd ever bought prior to the Wemby one, was my Manu Ginobili one, like in 2005. Talking to Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs, Ken's 5. Can I get one more take from you that's not Spurs related as we go to entertainment?
What's up?
Okay, let's go ahead and get that entertainment bump there going. We got
that bump.
We got to play the music.
All right.
So let's go to my screen here at tmz.com. I saw this last night and I found it to be hysterical. Patrick Mahomes, who's going to be leading the Chiefs to the Super Bowl 58 next Sunday, is saying that he has a dad bod because there was video posted on NFL.com, and it was shown all over where he's giving a post-game speech,
I saw
and it shows that he does not have a flat stomach. Now, he's not full-on Panza, but he's first trimester.
Hey, that's love weight, bro. Love weight.
So he says, "Hell yeah, I got a dad bod because I got kids." What are your thoughts on Patrick Mahomes balling with a dad bod?
Hey, look, I'm not a dad. I don't have kids, so I can't relate too much because look, I know you two guys, you all got kids, and I'm just curious before I give you an answer. Is it really because you have kids?
Yes.
Why the dad bod comes
Dude,
in? I'm being genuinely curious.
Well,
I don't
you
have
eat
kids.
a lot when you have kids because you don't eat healthy because you're always on the go. Then you're dropping into stuff, little places, fast food joints and whatnot. Pick up something for the kids. You're just eating and going, dude.
And there's no time
Is
to
that
work
what
out.
it is?
Yeah, there's no time. You're exhausted, dude.
No time to work out. And if you are married, your girl's not going to be like, "Yeah, go to the gym for 2 hours. I'll see you in a couple hours."
Netflix and
Bull
chill.
crap. You're going to be there with your girl while they have a kid.
Netflix and chill. Eating some snacks. You ain't even hungry.
But I was kind of impressed. I when I saw the photo, I thought it was a Photoshop. But he's got a pooch.
And I again, like, everybody knows that I'm not a father, but even when I have guests on Locked On Spurs, like Casey Vieira, I knew Casey when he was still single and fatherless.
Yeah.
I mean, the kid childless.
Yeah.
And the last time he did a video and we're talking, and he's like, "Yeah," he goes, "Can we just do audio?" I was like, "Okay, no problem." And I was like, "Oh, what, the dad bod is coming on?" He was like, "No, we're laughing. We just had a joke about that. It was just basically a messy house." But he did bring up that he's avoiding the dad bod and he doesn't want to get to it at all. But as far as the Patrick Mahomes, I don't have an issue with it. I mean, an extra layer of cushioning, for the hips, leave it like that.
A little layer of cushioning, I can take that. But let me ask you this question real fast. As we're looking at video of Andy Reid in the post game AFC Championship game, as they're bringing Patrick Mahomes up to speak to the crowd, speak to the team, as he flexes his dad bod. The NBA, arguably two of the best players in the NBA, Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic, they have dad bods.
Yeah, they do.
Have you noticed that? There's something about that girth that's there.
Yeah. And then you look at with Joker especially, he goes boozing in his home country in the off season, while all these other guys are like weightlifting and cardio and skills camps and everything. The Joker comes back, he just busts ass on that court.
Hey, Joe, this is the real reason that you gain weight as a dad. Chris Gonzalez just put it up there. You eat the kids' food when they don't finish their food.
And let me show you this photo that we have on Twitter as well.
Yeah.
This guy dominated the NFL for so long. Tom Brady. Tom Brady had a relative dad bod. There was nothing sculpted about Tom Brady. That's funny.
Hey, you know what? Along with the dad bod comes the dad strength, Yeah. You got that superhuman strength, man.
Now Tom Brady.
I thought Tom Brady stayed in shape though, even when he had kids. Did he?
Towards the end of his career, when he was trying to extend his career, he began that whole TB12 type of workouts. Mm-hmm. But his first 10 years, he was just some dude. He became more of took care of his body more as he got into the mid-30s and beyond. So I find that.
Hey, look, Jimenez, look. I've offered my services to help you get away from the dad bod. You only took it up one time, and you've never been back with me.
Jimenez can't do that.
Yeah, I wrecked you.
Come on.
I wrecked you that bad?
Okay, first of all,
realize it was a big mistake.
Okay, first of all, working out with you, at least you were surprised that I actually finished the workout. The problem.
Well, we had to tape it back a bit.
Of course, there's always a modification or two. That's to be expected. But dude, I felt like complete crap for a full week afterwards. That's not the way you should do it, man.
You couldn't move.
But I did weigh myself in today, and I lost all the Christmas weight. I'm back down to the lowest I've been in over a year. So
you're back in your fighting weight now.
I can fit in this T-shirt, is what I'm saying. No, I'm about 10 pounds away from where I want to be, and I think that I'm finally breaking through.
How long have you been on this journey? How long have you been in this journey of losing weight to get cute? For what month are we on now?
We are on month 13. So I have lost 15 pounds in 13 months. But the thing is that it bounces up and down. It bounces up and down. I never gain it all back. You know, I lost 10, I gained 5. I lost 7, I gained 4. It's kind of like going up and down like the stock market. Okay. But right now I'm the lowest that I've been in about a year and a half.
Man, Chris Gonzalez killing me. He's a dad. He's a real dad. Look at this. When we gain weight as dads, but our reaction time goes Super Saiyan. No lies detected, Jeff.
But
Man,
but here's the thing, Jeff. You go and work out all the time, dude. You go and work out
I
all
have
the time.
to.
So you were putting me through your workout. When I go to the gym once or twice a week, you're out there showing me how to do like military training, and I just wasn't. I mean, I did it. I lasted. I survived. I survived. Hey, by the way, I didn't mention this to Joe. Refereed high school basketball last night. One of the head coaches at the end of the game came up to me and goes, "Hey, are you Carolina Teague's friend?"
Oh God,
found that to be funny.
Are you her friend?
Yes. Weren't you on her podcast?
Oh God,
that was funny. Jeff Garcia, tell us what you're working on these days, my man.
Yes, sir. I'm glad you brought that up. New Locked On Spurs is out already on the YouTube side of things. It's not on Kent's 5 yet, but if you want to get a sneak peek, it's already available on YouTube. Just go to Locked On Spurs on YouTube. And then, I'm going to have later on today, I'm going to have an exclusive chat with Dominic Barlow. So I'll be releasing that later on Kents5.com. Of course, follow me on X at Jeff G Spurs Zone. And we're starting to get next week's schedule for Locked On Spurs. Dr. Ryan McCorkle will be back next week. We're going to see if Joe can finally get some time to jump on. He's been away for a while.
I'm big time in Jeff, man.
No, I don't. You know what it is, Joe? Ever since you told me about your new schedule,
yeah.
Like I don't know when your best days are now.
Thursdays, Fridays, or Saturdays, my friend. And also, you know, the thing is like if we do it super early, like 8 o'clock, I'm game for that. But I don't know if you're going to be up that early or you're working already, you know. So Thursdays, Fridays, probably my best days, man. And I've had COVID.
Right, well,
you did ask me to come on, and I was like, Jeff,
that's right. Yeah,
I got COVID, bro. I can't.
Yeah, you're COVID. Yeah. Yeah, and then Jimenez was on, I think, about a week ago. Something like that. Yeah. So, Joe and Mike are there. Everybody's there. Brandon was there last week. It's a fun time. Go to Locked On Spurs, and just can't wait for the 7-game homestand to be over with, man. This one's killing me.
Hey, you got one more.
Brutal.
How many games left? I think
we got two more. Friday, Saturday, and then that's it.
Saturday, I think I will be in attendance to that game. If I'm not, I'll send somebody else in my place for my season tickets.
Well, that's the money bag section, right? Because that's where Joe lives now, in the money bag section.
Hey, you know what? We're not bougie, Jeff, but we had little bracelets, right? And they had a number on it. So when you're sitting down in the lower bowl, you know, you're right there courtside, you can text the Spurs, you know, the staff on that bracelet. You text that your seats where you're sitting, and they come and give you food, bro. Like they bring you whatever you want to eat and
you all call me money bags. Look at y'all.
Hey, that's what Jeff says. You said we big timed you, but man, you're not gonna pull me.
Concourse. It was just up the stairs.
I ain't moving.
I wasn't gonna leave for anything.
Hey, we were locked in, and then Mike, he was seeing some.
Oh, those two girls over there.
I didn't want to call you out, bro, but
yeah, I mean, those two. I mean,
there was some talent, Jeff.
Those are not take home to mom kind of girls.
No. Yeah. You ever notice that they only show up at Spurs games?
Oh yeah, they do. They probably don't.
You don't see them out and about walking around.
They didn't know what was happening, Jeff.
They know one of the players. They have known one of the players.
Have to.
Those are girls from the Palace or from All Stars or
that's what I'm saying.
Tiffany's Cabaret or something like that. Hey, real fast before we let you go, Jeff.
Yeah.
Are you pro rodeo? Do you like going to the rodeo?
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I like fun. I like going to the grounds. I like, just walking around and checking out all the different type of food. Just the atmosphere, it's soaking in a tradition about San Antonio. I think it's pretty cool.
Okay, I'm pro rodeo. I'm also pro Petite Strawberry Festival, but Fiesta, not so much, man. I'm done with Fiesta.
Fiesta Sucia, bro. Come on. No.
Well, Fiesta's a week long, so you can pick and choose. You don't have to dislike the entire week, but you can like certain parts of it.
I know, Jeff. Jeff, do you partake in Fiesta, man? Be honest with us, dude. Do you go to
Yes,
any
I
of the
do.
events?
Yes, now mind you, I was away from San Antonio for nearly 2 decades.
You're gonna go for
In
the
New York City.
taste of the North Side.
Taste of the North Side,
Hey.
King William Fair, Niosa.
I could hang out with Jeff. Taste
Uh,
of the North Set. That's my jam, bro.
I don't want to take out a loan to go to Fiesta,
Oh,
dude.
come
It's too
on,
expensive
Mike.
for chicken on a
hey,
stick.
you know what? They actually have Fiesta loans.
What?
Like, I'm not kidding you. These little tucked away little hole in the wall banks, quote unquote.
Yeah,
They have Fiesta loans.
Those are
No-
loan
no
sharks.
joke.
those are called payday loans.
Loan sharks, bro. Loan sharks, man.
That is Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs Cans 5. Don't forget to follow him on Twitter, X, and on Threads if people are still doing Threads at Jeff G Spurs Zone. He's also follow him on Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Locked On
Wait,
Spurs. your daily
let
coverage.
me talk to Joe real fast. Joe, are you available on Saturday to record?
If you get me early enough, yeah, bro.
You see, there it is. All right.
What
we'll
time? What
figure it
time?
out, Joe.
What time do you want to
Well,
record? 10?
I'll
11?
text you.
All right.
All right. See you guys later.
All right, brother. See you later.
Thank you so much, my man. We talked about a lot, man. We've got we had the dad bod conversation. I really
Yeah, we
enjoyed
did.
that conversation. Garrett reaches out to us from the Netherlands saying that he lost 64 pounds since April of last year.
That's a lot of weight.
That's
dude.
amazing. I met somebody yesterday who told me that he lost 40 pounds. And I was like, how'd you lose 40 pounds? He says, I got COVID really bad.
Jeez, dude. I mean, when you have COVID, I can attest to it, and you probably can too. You really can't smell and you can't taste anything.
Right.
So your appetite is zero.
Yeah. And I can see that. I only caught COVID for a few days and I was back to normal. But when I look at like the whole weight loss journey, there's a plateau that you reach, right? Your body is used to a certain weight level, and there's a certain plateau that you reach. And I gotta just eat better. That's just basically it. And I do better whenever I fast on a daily basis, which I've gone back to doing. I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I wanted a burger, dude. I wanted a burger so bad.
You get what are you getting though? What are you getting?
So I just got a burger. I just got like a
Burger
cheeseburger.
Boy.
No, I was in a hurry because I had a referee.
Oh, okay.
So we have a Sonic by my house. I just got a single, right?
Okay, got you.
But I said no to the fries. I said no to the tater tots. I had some baked lays, just to kind of round out the meal.
Yeah.
I'll have a baked potato with some. What did I have for lunch yesterday? I had a baked potato with
The Flaming Birds, the chicken and all.
shredded
That's
chicken.
good from HEB.
It's not
dude.
bad. It's only
good.
like $8.
It's good.
Beyond that, for breakfast, I make myself scrambled eggs and bacon, right? Protein. No tortilla, none of that.
You can put some salsa on it if you want.
Yeah, and I sometimes get the green salsa
Yeah.
in there, but I really, it's for me, it's limiting the carbs some.
Have to, man.
But I have to have carbs when I go run 2 or 3 games, dude.
Yeah.
I can't go out there just all proteined out. I'm gonna run out of steam, man. So it's a delicate balance, delicate mix, and so people make fun of me, but I have a diary of weight that I log in here every week, and I'm the lowest that I've been since December of 2022.
Man, that's not bad.
So it just is what it is, but it's just breaking through that plateau, and I'm looking forward to losing the next 2 pounds, because once I lose that next pound and a half, the middle number changes. So I just gotta break through, baby. Break through.
Drew, maybe a diet method is taking a pill that kills your taste and smell. I'm thinking of $1 million ideas here.
Well, I could always just do heroin, right? I mean, that'll make you lose
That's a
weight.
hell of a drug. Yeah, look at here. Mario Cavazos, King Williams, did away with selling tickets for stuff and went high tech with selling bracelets that you add money to. Those things didn't work. People lost money. He's talking about the Fiesta event.
Yeah. I will not go. I don't get it. I just don't get it. They're like, it's culture. It's not culture. It's just
It's part of the cultura, dude.
it's food stands, dude. It's
No,
food stands.
man,
There's no culture when it comes to Fiesta.
man.
None
I can't
whatsoever.
with you,
It is
Mike,
a
man.
cash grab, is all that it is. It's a cash grab. Now I know a lot of it goes to scholarships. Great.
It's
but it's a
part
cash
of
grab.
history, bro. It's part of
It's
our
a
history here in
cash
San Antonio.
grab. It's a bunch of drunk people and shitty music. Is
Hey,
all
man.
that Fiesta is.
You grew up with the cumbias like I did, Tejano music. It's not like, hey, I'm a super fan of the music. I love it. it's tolerable, especially if you're drinking and you're just out with friends, family. You meet people that you haven't seen probably in a year or so. You see them at Fiesta, dude. Hey, how's it going? How's the mom? How's your dad? You know, how you all doing? That kind of stuff, catching up. It's like a block party, bro. That's really what Fiesta is.
No, I hang out with people I want to hang out with. That's basically it.
Well, I see family, you know. Sometimes you grow apart. You're doing things, you know.
I don't want to bump into family over there. There's a reason why I don't talk to them.
Why not,
There's a
dude?
reason why I don't talk to
you
them.
see your family members, cousins you haven't
I
seen
don't want
for
to
a
talk to
while?
somebody that I met in
You
third
chop
grade.
it up. You drink some beers.
MySA.com, if you want to take a look at the screen here, says that San Antonio is getting its first Cosmix restaurant.
The hell is that?
So, Cosmix is a new restaurant that is branded by McDonald's.
Oh, I saw this. Yes.
And according to MySA.com, it is a space-themed concept coming to San Antonio. It's going to be at 12370 Potranco Road.
What? That's just around the corner. We're gonna have to go hit it up.
Let me look that up real fast. 12370 Potranco Road.
I bet you anything they're not gonna put it way out in no man's land out there by the new subdivisions that are being built out there. There's nothing out there, dude.
It's right next to my house, Potranco and Grossenbacher.
Okay, that I can see. That's not bad. When you're putting it way the hell out there, no man's land, by going near the real Medina and all that stuff, there ain't nothing out there, bro. Nothing.
Okay. Oh, well, it says that it's going to be inside the Area 51 food park. Interesting. Says the tentative opening date is June 15th, 2024. And basically, it's going to go there to snack as opposed to going out over there to eat.
Did someone say
burgers.
Snacks? You were talking about Deuce Bigelow?
Yeah. They're going to be serving things like brownies and cookies and ice creams and, you know, breakfast all day.
Oh, that sounds horrible for your diet, bro.
That is true, but I'll have to walk over there.
Hey, you can walk with the brother that walks up and down Potranco, the staple, man.
Oh no, that guy scares me. They're going to serve creamy avocado tomatillo sandwiches, churro flavored frappes, s'mores cold brew, spice lattes.
Look at what Matt
spicy queso sandwiches, pretzel bites, hash brown bites, fudge brownie sundaes.
That sounds awful, dude. All of it. Look at what Matt Lerman's saying. He says McDonald's lost a ton of money last year, so they're trying to rebrand. Probably won't last. It's probably like a pop-up that they're gonna do just to test the waters, you know?
Coming to San Antonio.
Hey, maybe this time the ice cream maker will finally work at Cosmix. What do you think, dude? I know you all got you can get me a McFlurry.
Yeah,
I'll go back there.
I'm gonna let you know what that is, dude, because I worked at a McDonald's growing up.
Yeah.
It was not broken. No one wanted to clean it.
I know it's not broken, bro. It's not.
It was just due for a cleaning. Nobody wanted to get in there to do it.
Ice cream maker's broken. Bro, don't even lie to me. Let me go back there and clean the damn thing myself. Give me a damn McFlurry, man. Come on, quit playing.
I don't know. That reminds me of the AC going out at the AT&T Center during the finals.
Oh, God. It broke. Hey, man, everybody was miserable in that game, dude. It was so hot. I heard the stories, man.
But one of my favorite tweets, which some people said was racist, but was pretty accurate. It said, there's 17,000 people in there. There's probably about 200 Mexicans in there who know how to fix it.
Hey, there's no lies detected. Did one of them volunteer? Hell no.
You got to take them up to the rafters.
No. They could go and fix it. They're like, no. They wanted to go ahead and have the Spurs win the game. LeBron cramping up there down at the court. Mexicans are used to the hot weather, dude. We go outside and day drink and barbecue near a hot pit all day. No me pasa nada, dude. This is nothing to us.
Matthew Larimer reaches out to us on our YouTube stream and says there was an investigation as to why the ice cream vending machine was always broken. It was corruption. Charlie says, man, everything new gets built on Potranco Road. I'm on the other side of 1604.
Hey, man.
They're building a new Las Palapas right next to my house. It's a lot of stuff that I can go and walk to if I wanted to.
Hey, man, we got to go hit up Sazone, dude. You've been painting a nice picture about Sazone.
Do you work today?
No, I'm off, brother.
You want to go Sazone?
Let's go. You buying me lunch, Mike?
Sure, why not?
Oh, man. What a day, dude. What a day.
I'll have to get the charro beans and no rice. You're going to look at my plate and go, really, Jimenez? Really?
Charro beans, no rice. Oh, my goodness. Come on, bro.
Ace says there's going to be lines like crazy on Potranco. That's the thing, dude. That Area 51. I don't know if you've ever been out to Area 51.
The food park? Yeah.
I mean, it's a fun time if you can get in.
You got to get there early, man.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, let's call it a day, man. Let's call it a show.
Yeah.
Again, Dan Quinn is the new head coach of the Washington Commanders, going to be leaving the Cowboys. Time will tell whether or not he's going to take other coaches away from the Cowboys.
Sure enough.
Tonight, all-star reserves are named. If Paulo Banchero is named as an all-star reserve for the Eastern Conference, that might elevate Jeremy Sochan into the freshman-sophomore game. So we'll take a look into that. Again, follow Jeff Garcia. Thank you to Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Kids 5. Before we go, we forgot to give some love to MCS General Contracting.
Oh, yeah, man. Let me go ahead and play the intro for him. You know what? Let's go ahead and do Jeff, too.
Yeah.
Let's just do Jeff's. Locked On Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast, hosted by Jeff Garcia, the lead Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Jeff has a healthy plethora of guests all the time on the Locked On Spurs podcast. You can also follow Jeff on Threads at Jeff G Ken's 5 SA. You can also follow Jeff on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So make sure you go ahead and give Jeff a follow not only on Threads and Twitter, but also on YouTube at youtube.com/@Locked On Spurs. This is where you're going to be able to find the replay of the Locked On Spurs podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. And we're going to give some love to MCS General Contracting. They have some of the hardest concrete in the business. Diamond hard. So here we go. MCS General Contracting, more than 30 years of combined experience in concrete placement. They are the best in the business. Honest pricing, high quality work. They get going on house foundations, driveways, concrete patio decks. If you want to extend the deck, extend the driveway. If you're a business and you need to put together a slab, a parking lot, or other concrete placement services or sidewalks, reach out to MCS General Contracting at 210-774-9155. They're confident in their skills, so give Chris Leha over at MCS General Contracting a call at 210-774-9155. And thank you for being a sponsor of this show. Yep, give Chris Leha a call.
Very nice, man. Does a fantastic job out there. Not only, the slabs and whatnot, but basketball courts and all that. Very, very cool. Thank you for all of you who listened to today's show. Again, like and subscribe, share what we've done. Again, the subscription base is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, which is really, really nice. Thank you so much for all that sent in their comments. Again, tonight, all-star reserves are named.
6 o'clock.
We'll see if Wemby gets that outside chance of making it.
You got the candles, light them up. Prende la vela.
There you go. My name is Mike Jimenez. That's Joe Garcia. See you tomorrow.
Peace.